Hey, good day everyone. Welcome to Andrew's Life. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. I'm hanging out here in Kokomo, Indiana. I just got done treating myself to some restaurant food. I am here at the Highland Park here in Kokomo, just taking a little walk. Getting a little bit of exercise in. It looks like I need to turn around here. Well, I told you guys I would come with a part 2 video on Rather or Rather Not. I'm coming back here to Indiana, or I'm staying in Alabama. Well, for starters, I will say I'm enjoying myself here in Indiana. I'm enjoying the much cooler temperatures, much lower humidity compared to Alabama. I'm out up here sweating like a pig. Hey, it looks like it might rain. Hey, y'all can look at some ducks here. Hey, it looks like it's gonna rain in a little bit here. I'm just kind of walking on the grass here. I'm trying to stay away from the people that want to jog and actually exercise. I'm just hanging out here at the park. I already got my workout in this morning. I worked out, then decided to treat myself to some restaurant food, and now I'm sitting here hanging out, getting some fresh air, creating content for you people. Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from the people, because when I'm talking into a camera and there's people close by, I feel kind of funny about doing that. I know that there's other YouTubers that they do this all the time and it doesn't faze them. I'm trying to get to be like them, but for some reason I just feel funny when I'm talking into a camera and there's people that are close by. So for that reason, and also I'm not trying to be in nobody's way. For those who are here trying to get their run on, I'm not trying to be in no one's way. Well, some of you that watched my part 1 video about Rather or Rather Not, I'm gonna come back to Indiana. Maybe some of you may have already guessed what my decision might be. But for those of you that are still wondering, in a nutshell, at least the way it stands right now, I'm not going to be moving up here. Most likely I won't. Because, you know, as I told you guys on yesterday's video, the housing prices are way too expensive. A lot of these sellers want way too much money for their house, and they ask what they ask because they know they're going to get it. And of course, as some of you already know, for those of you that are educated, you already know you got these institutional investors buying up a lot of these houses. They've been granted loans backed by the U.S. government, backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I mean, it pisses me off because those are the type of shenanigans, among other shenanigans, that our American tax dollars are going towards funding. Now, fortunately for myself, I already own a house. But for those who are younger, and maybe some of you that are younger and you're looking to purchase your first home, you're looking to set roots in your city, in your community, you're looking to build the bridge of wealth for you and your family. Sadly, many of you are unable to do that because you got a bunch of greedy motherfuckers out here buying up all the goddamn houses. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you folks. Man, I ate too much. Anyways, now for me, I would like to purchase 3 houses, or maybe 4 houses, if I come back up here to Indiana. 1 for me, 3 for investment purposes. But you got folks out here, you know, you got a lot of these institutional investors. They're buying up houses by the hundreds and thousands. And I made a video talking about this. I want to say maybe a week or so ago, I made a video talking about this. Now, if there was a law passed stating that everyone can only own one house per person or per family, honestly, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I would understand if that type of law was passed. You wouldn't hear me crying, but you got a lot of folks out here who are super greedy, and they want to purchase all the real estate. Now, some people might say I'm just out here hating because I don't got the capital to do what they do. And I don't call myself hating. I just think it's unfair. It's not right that the American tax dollars are going towards allowing these institutional investors to buy up all the affordable housing in the United States. Well, most of the affordable housing in the United States. And, you know, and I got a prediction. Here's my prediction. You know what, before I go into my prediction, I know some of you are at the edge of your seat wondering whether I'm going to come back to Indiana or not. Now, as it stands today, I'm going to say no. Because, as I told you on yesterday's video, I don't care what the housing market is. I don't care how much I like the house. I am not participating in no bidding war. I am not gonna pay 150 grand for a house that ought to sell for 50. I'm not gonna pay 100 grand for a house here in Indiana and be somewhere in the hood. Fuck all that. I mean, y'all hear that? Anyways, what was I going to say? Yeah. Now, maybe once I get up off this camera, I might run into a deal, and I might go ahead and grab that shit up, and I might be back up here. That could always happen, but at this point, I'm not holding my breath, just due to how things have been. I mean, yes, I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. I know what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. And I know what others are going to do because they got the power to do so. Y'all can look at this river here with this super brown water. Looks like a chocolate milkshake almost. All right, let me get into what I'm thinking here. And obviously what I'm getting ready to say is based on 0 pieces of factual information. What I'm getting ready to say is based on no data whatsoever. But here's my prediction. Within the next maybe 2 or 3 years or so, what I predict is, and this is, and by the way, what I'm getting ready to say happened back in, I believe this happened during the last recession. Let's look at some action over here. Yeah. Looks like you got some birds playing around. Okay, I don't see no birds. I guess I'm just seeing stuff. Anyways, here's my prediction. What I predict is you're gonna have these institutional investors buying up a crap load of property, as you all can see. And among the houses that they purchase, a lot of the houses that they purchase are gonna be in lower income neighborhoods where housing prices are lower. Many and a lot of their inventory or their portfolio will also be full of fixer-uppers, some of which might be in nicer neighborhoods. Now, first of all, what I find interesting, what I find kind of ironic is, why is it that when me and you want to buy a house that's a fixer-upper, maybe it might be a fixer-upper, but it's in a nice neighborhood, maybe the square footage is decent, and on top of that, it also comes with a decent sized lot. So here's my thing. why is it that when me and you want to buy a fixer-upper, like the type of fixer-upper I just described, y'all can look at that real quick. Anyways, why is it that when me and you want to buy a fixer-upper, in most cases, like I would say 9.5 times out of 10, you will not even be approved for a mortgage. Let me elaborate on what I'm saying here. Like, if me and you were to go buy a house and we didn't have cash money, we had to take out a loan. We had a mortgage on home. I mean, there are certain criteria that the property has to meet in order to qualify for a mortgage. One criteria that a house has to meet in order to qualify for a mortgage is the house cannot have any, and I mean any, peeling paint. Like if there's any peeling paint on the windowsills, the house will not qualify for a mortgage. And I believe with many lending institutions, if the roof of the house is too old, it will not qualify for a mortgage. If the electric panel system is older, like you got the glass fuses rather than the circuit breakers, that house will not qualify for a mortgage. It's not going to matter the condition of the house other than those factors. If your house has any of those things wrong, the house will not qualify for a mortgage. And many of your houses that are fixer-uppers, some will say cash buyer only. Others will say cash buyer, or you can go through a conventional loan, which conventional loans are not backed by the government, as VA and FHA loans are backed by the government. I'll give you all a little view of where I'm at. It just rained. It rained a lot yesterday. That's why you see all this water. But anyways, I find it kind of funny how they put those type of stipulations on the average Joe when they're wanting to purchase a home. But and let me, now for those of you that don't know the secret of why it is you have so many people out here that are able to buy a house and pay cash, let me tell y'all something. There's a lot of people out here. I mean, like many of these institutional investors, see what they do is many of them are granted loans. They're granted what's called a cash loan, that in many cases are going to be backed by Freddie Mac, or I forgot what the other one was called. But many of these institutional investors are going to oftentimes be granted loans that are backed by the government, the mighty U.S. tax dollar. And they're gonna, and that loan is gonna be a cash loan to these institutional investors. And once these companies are granted these loans, however, whatever amount of money that they feel they need or want to borrow. All they gotta do is apply, and most likely that loan will be granted. So they'll get X amount of money. They'll get X amount of money, which will be a cash loan. And then when they go out here on the market and they come across a house that might be a fixer-upper, since their loan was a cash loan, they'll be able to basically write a check and hand it over to the seller, and they will then be able to purchase that house. And that is the reason why there's so many people out here. There's so many people out here that are cash buyers. These cash buyers that are out here are not everyday working class people like me and you. These cash buyers out here are people who own larger investment companies. And these companies are connected to BlackRock, backed by the U.S. government, i.e. the U.S. citizen tax dollars. So, again, for those of you that are not able to buy a house because everything is too expensive, everything's a rip-off, and some of you are not trying to get ripped off, you got enough sense to understand that a house that was selling for $50,000 back in 2018, 2019 is not worth $150,000 in 2024. And many of you have enough sense to not buy a house in the hood for over $100,000 here in states like Indiana. So for those of you that are on the sideline, you're being patient, you're being responsible, you're stacking paper, you're waiting for that right deal. Keep waiting. I know it's easier said than done, but keep waiting. Don't be discouraged. Again, easier said than done. And don't think you're out here doing something wrong because you're not among the people who are cash buyers. Because as I just got done telling you, I would say the majority of your so-called cash buyers are not truly cash buyers. These are people that take out large amounts. I mean, these are people that get granted large amounts of money on a so-called cash loan. These people are not buying these houses with money out of their pocket, like me and you might buy a house for cash out of our pocket, for those of us who have it like that. Many of these cash buyers, as I said, that cash money that they have is because they were granted large loans backed by the government. And that is the reason why you got so many buyers, you got so many so-called cash buyers that purchase a home without doing the proper due diligence first. And no inspection, not even a walkthrough. Don't even step foot on the local soil which the property is located. That is the reason why you got so many buyers out here who buy houses like that. Now on to my prediction. I would say within the next 2 or 3 years or so, what I predict happening is, out of all these houses that these larger investment institutions have purchased, they're gonna eventually begin to unload many of these houses right back onto the market. These houses are eventually gonna be for sale again. And I would predict this happening within the next 2 to 3 years. You're gonna start to have many lower income neighborhoods to maybe lower working class neighborhoods flooded with vacant homes that are all for sale. Vandalism most likely is going to go up as a result. Crime is going to go up due to all the vacant properties. And these individuals are going to get to the point where they're going to be so eager to sell these houses, because these houses that they're buying right now, they're going to find out eventually that many of these houses are not going to make them any kind of money. Either because A, the house is in a bad neighborhood, so the quality of tenant that they get, the quality of tenant will be low. B, as far as it goes for the fixer-upper homes that they purchased, they're going to find that the amount of work they're going to have to put into fixing up the house in order to rent it out or even flip it, they're going to find that the profit margin is going to be next to zero. They may not even have a profit margin. Rather than profit, they might lose money. So when those type of things begin to happen to these people, they're going to take a lot of these houses that they're unable to make money off of, and they're going to put them back on the market and sell them. And then these houses are going to be for sale again. And that's why yesterday I made the comment that I made. The comment that I made yesterday was, on yesterday's video, I said something along the lines of, I'm just going to sit back, be patient, stay on the sideline, and then maybe in the next couple of years, give or take, I'll go ahead and buy up a few investment properties at a fraction of the price of what they are today. Some of them are going to end up in foreclosure. Some of them are going to end up on auctions. And some of these institutional investors will let the property go. What they'll do is they're going to quit paying the taxes, and they're going to let the property go back to the county. And when the property goes back to the county, ultimately that house is going to be for sale via an auction. And that's when people who have been patient, people who may have been saving some money, are going to be able to step in and take advantage of those opportunities. And I'm going to be one of those people. Because that's what I predict happening. There's going to be a lot of houses out here that these institutional investors are going to discover that they're not going to be able to make no money off of. So they're going to put those houses back on the market and sell them. And then people like myself, people like some of you, will be able to buy those houses for a fraction of the price compared to what they're priced at today. Now, are these institutional investors going to suffer the same consequences as me and you would suffer if we made irresponsible financial decisions? No. Because like if me and you make an irresponsible decision like that, by buying up a bunch of properties, not doing due diligence, and as a result losing a crap load of money because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. See, me and you done did some dumb shit like that, we would have to file either a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13. Most of us would. And our credit would be messed up for the next 7 to 10 years. I mean, yeah. So now many of these institutional investors, on the other hand, what they would do is they will file a business bankruptcy, which for those people, it might mess them up a little bit, maybe, I don't know. But I'm gonna say it's not gonna do near the damage to them as it would to normal people like me and you. So yeah, this real estate market out here, this real estate market is completely rigged. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it right now. And like I said, I'm not gonna participate in buying a house and getting ripped off. And I would encourage those of you on the sidelines waiting to buy a house, don't participate in the madness. Don't get ripped off. Be patient. Save your money. Don't mess your back up over this housing shit. All right, folks. It's been 31 minutes. I think I've talked enough. I think you guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the views here at the park here in Kokomo, Indiana. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you like what I do, remember to give videos like this a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And on that note, stay blessed and try not to get finessed out here in these real estate streets.